Audio article by the Common Constitutionalist entitled British Healthcare Offers a Glimpse into the Future of Obamacare. Obamacare is once again in the news, this time for the massive rate hikes Americans have to look forward to in a few months. The right is decrying the hikes as the left desperately tries to downplay them or just deflect and change the subject. Citizens already stretched to their budgetary limits are wondering how on earth they will ever be able to afford the insurance premiums, some rising well over 50%. I personally fail to see how a family who is struggling to pay their current premiums will ever be able to swing even a 15 or 20% increase, much less 50%. Combine the massive rate hikes with the availability of insurers, which shrinks every year, and you have a recipe for mass financial disaster. Can you say a record year for personal bankruptcy? Yeah, I think so. And always remember, Obamacare is just shoddy health insurance. It is not health care, as everyone on the left consistently and purposely sells it as. The left does like their word games. But as has been said a myriad of times from us on the right, Obamacare is a fiasco by design. It is a premeditated failure. A single-payer, entirely government-run system has always been the end. Obamacare was always intended to be the deceptive means to that end. As a single-payer healthcare system is the want of leftist statists, let me cite yet another example of what the future holds for many in the good old US of A. Jolly old England is said to have the best of both worlds, private and public health insurance. But in fact, only the wealthiest 5 to 7% can afford the private care, leaving the rest to the public option, which is far from adequate. Inadequate care and hopelessly long wait times just to receive subpar care is the rule in England, not the exception. In 2011, the UK Telegraph reported that NHS, the National Health Service, managers are deliberately delaying operations as they wait for patients to either die or go private in order to save money, according to an official report. That's right. In order to cut costs, bureaucrats at the NHS have become de facto death panels. Sound familiar? One such poor sap who just recently ended up caught in the maze of the British healthcare bureaucracy is Paul Dibbins, a former British Army Lance Corporal. The father of 3 had suffered serious frostbite. After months of trying to heal his toes, he had developed gangrene. The NHS scheduled surgery to remove his lower leg below the knee. Without the surgery, the gangrene would spread, eventually killing him. A grim outlook either way, but having no lower leg is better than an agonizing death, he thought. Unfortunately for the former soldier, the NHS made him wait 6 weeks for the procedure, and then something happened. At the 11th hour, NHS postponed the surgery yet again for another 6 weeks, no doubt in an attempt to cut costs. Mr. Dibbins was desperate at this point and decided to do the only thing he could. He said, "Knowing that it would take at least another 6 weeks to get me in front of a surgeon again, that's when I bit the bullet and cut off the toes." And that he did. Using no painkillers at all, Dibbins scraped away the dead flesh from his 2 blackened toes and proceeded to sever the tendons with the only thing he had available, a pair of nail clippers. The procedure took him about an hour to remove both affected toes. A surgeon later told him he was crazy, but that the home-style operation was textbook. So as we proceed further down the path of a single-payer, government-run health system, home surgery may also be in our future, as Washington bureaucrats and death panels decide which of us is worth saving. I better dust off my old game of operation and start practicing. Thank you for listening.